Today, we are doing Motivational Mondays, and this is MNKTalks Motivational Monday edition. Uh, Today, I have a treat for you as we are going to bring forward several really motivational acts for you. And the very first one is Hollis Citron. She is a creative doula, a seasoned teacher, the founder of I Am Creative Publishings and the Get Unstuck membership, as well as a TV personality. And she's going to bring all of her talents forward right now to get you motivated and so that you can get motivated, stay inspired, keep networking, and gain knowledge. This is Mink Talks. So, without further ado, let's bring up Hollis.
Hello, everybody. So grateful to be here. So I'm going to frame this with this question. Have you ever been told not to speak? If you can relate to this, put a thumbs up, put something by this face. Because we all have stories and we all have these, these small interactions that we have in life have the power to be life-changing. So the framework in this particular space, and I wasn't privy to the circumstances, nor was it my business, but this little interaction with this little boy in a classroom in Brooklyn, New York, over 25 years ago, has, with perspective, had a huge impact on my why for what I do. And I never knew. So I call myself a creativity doula. What that means, I help people birth their creative concepts into the world. And how I define creativity is I see it as a person's voice. I see it as their expression. It's something that everyone has, and it's just a matter as to whether we express it or repress it. So with this particular scenario, going back, I was a resident artist in New York City back in the 90s, and the exact date of this encounter is unclear, but the scenario is incredibly vivid. So I was in my late 20s, and I'd been teaching in various settings for a while, but I didn't have my own classroom. And this organization that I worked for, Studio in the School, was an incredible space. It was very holistic, meaning they would send us as artists and residents into the space. We worked with the kids, the teachers, and the parents, and it was very process-oriented. And what that means is it was about exploring the materials, inspiring people to ask questions, and really to express themselves. So it wasn't so much about the end result, even though all of this led to the end result. So the residencies would last about 3 months, and I would go into these different I'd go into the schools, and I would go kind of like for 45 minutes from class to class to class. So in this particular scenario, I was going into a kindergarten classroom, and there was 2 teachers in the room. There was an inclusion class. So there was a special ed teacher and a general ed teacher. So I'd come in with my bag of supplies, and I called it my magic bag. And I made it as dramatic as possible, of course. And then we had the introduction, the hands-on experience. And then we had a sharing time where the kids got to share their work that they did and how it felt. They got to ask each other questions and all of this. And by the way, this process, it had really taught me so much throughout my teaching career. This whole idea of reflection and feedback is huge. So going back to the story, on this particular day, we were creating collages, and we were doing like ripped paper collages. And we were tearing paper and exploring color and shapes and overlapping and all of this stuff, not using scissors, but using our hands as our tools. So I'm circulating the room. There's so much energy kind of buzzing about. The kids are excited. They're working. We're coming to the time of closing up. 5-minute warning was given. Put your finishing touches. 2-minute warning. 1-minute warning. Put your stuff down. Let's clean up. Cleaned up the space, and now it's time for our last section, which was our sharing time. So here I go back to the front of the room, in the middle of the room, I should say, sorry. I'm on the rug, and I ask if there are 3 people that would like to share. They can either come up on the rug or they can stand and stay in their seat. Hands are flying up, kids are saying, me, me, me. And I see a hand go up in the right corner of the room, and I was in complete shock. This boy that raised his hand was a selective mute. He never spoke. So he raised his hand, and in my head, of course, I'm having a freaking party. Oh my gosh, what breakthroughs. I was about to call on him, and one of the teachers in the room, as I said, there were 2 teachers in the room, and I didn't mention he was a screamer. He was a horrible man. So what do you think happened? Yep, he screamed at him. You want to talk. You want to talk. You never want to talk. Fine, go ahead, talk. This poor little boy that I can't even remember his name, his body just turned completely in and withered. I was having an explosion in my head. What the hell just happened? Who is this lunatic? How am I going to advocate for this boy? Remember, it's not my classroom. I'm just a visitor in the space. So I went up to the boy, I held up his artwork, and I asked people to tell him something that they liked about his work. Classmates were noticing things, asking questions. He wasn't speaking, but he was pointing. Not a lot of emotion came through, but you could see he was listening and he was taking it in. So then the other 2 people shared, I'm about to leave, and I'm about to take my magic bag and leave and go to the next classroom. And I went over to him and I bent down and I said, "Sweetie, what did you want to say?" And he said, "I like the color blue." It still brings tears to my eyes. Sorry. This is why, everybody, nobody should be told to be quiet. Everybody here has something to say, and what you say is important. And this is creativity, everybody. It's all in the expression. So my message to you today is go express yourself, because if you're not expressing, you're repressing. Thank you.
Oh my gosh. What a wonderful story. Thank you so much for sharing that. I think so many of us feel like our voice is not big enough or strong enough or powerful enough. And all we just need is one person like you to just listen and actually give us the space to be able to say the words. So thank you very much for sharing that. I know we have multiple channels who are watching this today. So not only is everyone in the Mink Life universe watching this, but also our Diabetes 101 for Beginners group is also watching this. And so, out of curiosity, when it comes to advocating for yourself, what are some creative ways you think people to should be able to have their voice heard, especially when it comes to advocating for our health?
So what are some tools in order to advocate for ourselves is the
Yeah,
question?
yeah.
I think it's kind of understanding who you are as a person and the best ways that you communicate. So again, this story to me is all about safe spaces. So it's having that safe space
Mm-hmm.
that I created and that people create for you. And then you can create this for yourself. So in advocating for yourself, is that through using your voice? Is that through writing? Is that through actually making something and somehow like showing it off that way? There are different ways for people to speak and to share and to express. And it's finding your tool, your modality to do that best. I think most importantly for you to feel safe first.
Mm-hmm.
And then once you get past that point of getting to a point of, I got this, I can advocate for myself, I'm strong, I'm grounded, I'm centered, then
Yes.
maybe you can move off to one of those other modalities that doesn't. I never thought I'd speak. I never thought I'd be here speaking. I would turn purple if you looked at me. So how I kind of went into those spaces, like baby steps. I was doing like smaller classrooms. I was doing this. I got more comfortable. I understood what I was talking about. I felt like I had something to contribute. I felt more confident in myself, which then
Yes.
you fast forward 30 years later. Now I'm like, give me a stage. If I turn purple, I turn purple. It doesn't matter. It's about It's about what I'm trying to say.
Exactly.
It's about the mission.
Yes. I do believe that as a person who was probably very similar to that young boy, young, I was not necessarily classified as selective mute, but I didn't have words unless spoken to. And I will say that anytime someone has created a safe space for me to be able to voice something, anything, uh, it was greatly appreciated and very much remembered. And it did take practice advocating for myself and actually speaking up unprompted. Uh, so I definitely think that there's a lot of lessons to be learned from this particular story, specifically that one, your voice is absolutely needed in order for you to be able to advocate for yourself and for others around you. The second piece that I love about this is we should honor everyone else's voices around us because we never know what they have to contribute to the conversation. And the third is find a creative way to communicate and practice it as often as possible because you never know where it's going to take you. Thank you very much, Hollis. I am so grateful for you to be our first guest on our Motivational Mondays Mink Talks show. And I'm going to bring up another amazing speaker. And you guys are in for a treat as she is a motivational comedian. Her name is the Joy Ignitor, and that's exactly what she does. She's a motivational comedian. She is the founder and creator of Be Yourself Every Day, encouraging people to get to know who they are because if you haven't met them yet, if you haven't met yourself yet, you'll know you are awesome. And a yammy and a mom and a former school teacher and a health and life and health coach. She does all of those things. And I am so excited to bring her to the stage for another installment of Mink Talk. Here is Yo.
Hey, 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 hey. Thank you for that beautiful intro from Memory. What she didn't say was I'm also a dog sitter. So if you hear them two loud black labs upstairs, my apologies right now. So I want to share a little bit of what I do as far as spreading joy. I'm known as the Joy Igniter. And I believe it's because I've always had this, I don't know, natural instinct to think of the positive things in life, to find the silver lining, so to speak. I remember when there were, voicemails, like not on cell phones, but when you had an answer machine. And so I would call my answer machine. I would say things like at the very end, you know what? You can't control what happens to you, but you can control your attitude. Focus on the attitude. Or attitudes are contagious. Make sure yours is worth catching, all the things. And I've always gotten positive feedback on my voicemails. And it just dawned on me like, most people don't do that. Like, I don't get it. Most people don't just, leave some kind of quirky, fun message, and obviously they don't. So I just wanted to share a little bit of joy with you today by giving you some tips on how to cultivate it yourself. People tend to think that joy is something that has to be externally brought to you. It has to be based upon maybe how your day is starting, or maybe how your day is ongoing, or interacting with certain people or doing certain things. But joy is an internal feeling. It is something that you can create at any time, in any space, and in any place for yourself. One of the ways that I like to encourage people to do that is by changing a couple of terms that we might use on a daily basis. For example, people tend to say things like, oh my gosh, I have to go to work. I have to pick up my kids. I have to do my homework. I have to do this and the other. And it comes with this kind of a negative connotation on like an obligation. You have to do something. So if you take that one word of have, and switch it to the word of get, it completely turns the perspective around to something positive. I get to go to work. That means that you have a job. Somebody out there in the world does not have that. They don't have somewhere to go to bring income into their house, to pay those bills or to do those kind of things. I get to pick up my kids. That is so meaningful right now, especially to me as a former public school teacher, as Monica shared, because the way the world is going now and all the things the kids are experiencing, these different shootings and everything else, somebody didn't get to pick their kids up that day. I have to wash the dishes. Well, that means that you had water and you had a plate to wash, which means you had food to eat. We all know there are people in this country that do not have food, that do not have access to things like that. So it's a joyful experience to say, I get to do something, So that's one little tip I wanted to share with you. Another thing I think that people do with gratitude is they think that it's limited to journal writing. I know in my experience, every time I'm talking about or hear about gratitude, I tend to hear about people saying, make a gratitude list or create a gratitude journal or like put it down on paper or do something with a pen. And personally, I'm not really a big fan of having to write things. I like to make lists and do things like that, but to have to express my gratitude on paper sometimes feels daunting or just not fun. So I want to give you a couple of other ways you can show gratitude on a daily basis. One way is what I call the gratitude walk. Take your time and take some time to spend outside. And as you're walking around your neighborhood, walking around the block, maybe walking at the grocery store, honestly, anywhere that you're taking that time to move your body, just be grateful for your surroundings. Take a time to look at that tree that you might have not noticed, that's been right outside of your door or right there in the parking lot of where you go every day to the store. It's been there all the time, but did you notice it? Or maybe I like to give people challenges on things like colors, your favorite color, like whatever they might be. If your favorite color is orange, for example, and you're out for this gratitude walk, challenge yourself to find all the things that are orange. And when the universe brings it to you, just take that moment to go, I love the color orange because it just makes me feel happy. It's just a joyful color. Or if you hear somebody say the word orange, just take that pause and show gratitude for what that meant to you. So that's one way you can show gratitude other than just writing things down. Another way that you could probably show gratitude is a gratitude photo journal, like a photo book, a photo gratitude. Like I use my phone. I've been pet sitting for about almost a year now, and I've explored some beautiful places in California and Texas and in Oregon and in Washington. So far, that's all I've been. But anyway, these beautiful pictures. And so flowers, for some reason, attract my attention. Flowers and plants. And I don't know the difference between the two. I have talked to my girlfriend, Melinda, a little bit more to find out. But anything that has this beautiful attraction to me, it drawed my eyes in for some kind of way, and for some reason. And I actually take the time to get my phone out and take a picture of that flower or that plant. And recently I created a gratitude photo, like a gratitude photo book. And I get to go on there and just kind of look at the pictures and remind myself where I was, maybe what I was doing. Why did that plant or flower draw its attention to me? What was pretty about it? Which could lead me to think about other things that I would be grateful for as I was taking that walk, or that I could make another album about. So that's another thing. The third way I want to kind of challenge you to express gratitude or to be more gratuitous, if that's a word, I always making stuff up, is if you are that person who likes to write down things in a gratitude journal or create a gratitude list, I challenge you to not express gratitude for the same thing. See how far you can go that you run out of things to show gratitude for. We tend to say that I'm grateful for my family, I'm grateful for my life, I'm grateful for my career, I'm grateful for some of these big things. And you can take that big concept and dissect it down. Like, for example, I'm grateful for my body. And that is a beautiful gratitude. I'm grateful for this body. It's the only one I will ever have. It has taken me a long way. It's put me through some good and not so good things. But break that down to even more. I'm grateful for my eyes, for the ability to see all the beautiful things and beautiful people in my world. I'm grateful for my ears to be able to hear the sounds of music or the sounds of a bird or the sound of somebody singing happy birthday, those kind of things. And then last but not least, before I go, I got to give you some joy because I'm the Joy Ignitor. So I'm going to leave you with two of my most funniest jokes. The first one is, why is the stadium so cold? Why is the stadium so cold? Because it's full of fans. And then one last joke. What did the state of Tennessee the same thing that Arkansas. Anyway, I hope that brought some joy to your life. I am your Joy Ignitor. And if no one has told or reminded you today, God loves you, and so do I. Ciao.
Thank you so much, Yo. That was funny and motivational, and we appreciate you. If you are watching this and you've enjoyed the last two speakers, if you've enjoyed Hollis's story, very touching story about a boy who wasn't given the opportunity, I want you to drop Hollis's name in the chat or say speaker number one. If you enjoyed Yo and her tips on putting a little joy in your life, igniting that joy in your life, and also her bad jokes that are also AKA dad jokes. You want to drop speaker number two in the chat and let us know what you thought of this Motivational Monday experience. This is a new concept that we're working with, and so we want to get your feedback for sure. Yo, you did a fantastic job of getting us motivated. When you were talking, I was really thinking about how often it brings me joy to find joy in someone else's outfits. And then it also gives them joy by me telling them how all of their hard work of pulling their outfit together came together in such a way that I enjoyed it. So it just reminded me to do that some more and to see if I can do that with more people today. So thank you very much, Yo, for being our second speaker on today's Motivational Mondays with Monica Henderson, the MNKTalks stage. So the next person that we're going to bring to the stage as a MNKTalks speaker is Jenn Drakes. Now, Jenn is, there's so much to describe Jenn. Jenn is nuanced in all of the ways. She is grounded and wonderful, and also very intelligent. She's heart centered. She helps young people as well as older people really kind of tap into their best selves, mind, body, and spirit. I've had the pleasure to spend some time with her recently in some of her sessions, and she is a treat and a wonder to be around. And so I am bringing to the stage as your third speaker of the day, Miss Jenn Drakes. Jenn, take it away.
Hello. Thank you for that introduction. I'm going to do something a little bit different. What I essentially do is, as Monica indicated, I work with youth and young adults as well as seniors. And my whole aim is to have them live the best life they possibly can, and restructure them a lot of times. Can you hear me?
Yep, we can hear you.
Okay, and just reframe.
Hi, I'm just jumping on here. I just found this, and I was like, I think this is where I was supposed to go. I'm not sure.
I believe you're still in Zoom somewhere.
Well, I responded that I was supposed to do something with Mink Life, whatever, and I was like, I don't know where I'm going. What's that? Hey, Yo. How you doing? And just reframe. Heidi, was it the Motivational Mondays? Probably, and I might have missed it.
Okay. So we have one of our speakers apparently in your background talking about how to get here. It's okay.
I think so. Yeah. Okay. I'm sending you a link to Restream.
This is fun.
You can click on that link, and Monica should grab you and let you know what to do next.
That's fun. All right. Well, it looks like Heidi's on her way too.
Okay. Message request. Okay, I see your message.
Hopefully, she will be here shortly. In the meantime, Jenn, I will give you a little extra time to kind of work through as we got that interruption coming through. As soon as you're ready to go, you can get started again.
I'm doing all right.
Can you
I
hear
can
me?
hear them talking. That's why.
Oh,
Monica.
can you close Zoom? Yeah, just a little technical difficulties. It's what happens when you're using two platforms at one time. And it sounds like Heidi is on her way as our fourth speaker. But in the meantime, Jenn, are they
I
still
think
talking?
they might be in a
Yeah,
private
there's some.
session, you know?
Okay. That's what happens when you're live, guys. You know, like stuff happens in this way. I'm just going to send a message to our office to let them know to kind of like bring her this way. But I think you're good to go. So I'm going to go ahead and give you the stage.
Okay.
Jen,
Okay.
go ahead and take it away.
Okay, so as I was saying, what I do is love to change perspectives to change lives. And that means reframing. And it doesn't mean a 360 turn. It does sometimes just mean a slight pivot in how their mindset is, how they're looking at their situations, and reframing it differently so they have a different perspective to move forward positively towards what they're aiming for and to find their purpose. So today, from a motivational Monday perspective, I am going to do something a little different. I'm going to combine written, spoken word with poetry and go from there to motivate you. And as I said, my aim is to always spark interesting conversations, discussions, and provide new perspectives. So, to start, I am standing on the cup of change, frozen. The week starts today. I should go. Says my mind, you must go. Says my gut, and my body stays still, frozen. Mondays need motivation. Motivation need spirit. Spirit need purpose. Purpose is mission. Mission is passion. Passion is motivation. A motivated person takes leaps of faith and they find courage to pursue things that seemed out of reach or even insurmountable to others. And in that pursuit, we are shaped, defined, and elevated beyond what we could have imagined. These journeys ensure we are living purposefully. These journeys test our belief in ourselves, our ability to persevere through obstacles thrown our way and glass ceilings encountered. They are tests of blind faith, not just faith, blind faith. Why even take the journey? Because it is the path to knowing we are worth more. Do, move, weave, fuel up, fly. You are worth more. And in the frame of that sentiment, I take you into the poem, You Are Worth More. Because now that I am grown, my life is my own, to do with as I please, and live day to day with ease, freeze. Yet this is not the case. Some things seem misplaced. I hate to admit it is a question of fit, commit. Now that I am grown, my life is not my own. Fighting to make ends meet. At what point do I complete me? Ups, downs all around, stretched thin in a compound. Lucidity I want out. Without a doubt, pout or shout, work out. Now that I am grown, I stand on my own to do, be, achieve. Finally, I believe, weave. My life is my own to face the unknown. My needs I clarify. Grace resonates my lullaby. Fly. Frozen no more. Mind knows it's Monday. Spirit smiles at the knowing. Motivated I am, in motion to do. We can self-motivate, and when we need support, we can reach out. And that is what Jenn Drakes as a brand is all about. It's a message that you are worth more than you can ever have imagined. And just when you think you've reached the pinnacle, there's another level to go. And how much are we motivated to test ourselves, walk in blind faith, and reach for the stars and beyond? I hope you like that.
I absolutely loved it. Thank you, Jenn. I know we had some technical difficulties there, but once you got into your poem, it was beautiful. I really love how you pulled all of the words together and really kind of tried to hit home about how important it is to really kind of tap in to who you are and connecting with everyone. So thank you so much for that. This group, this message is actually going to not only people in the Mink Life universe, but also to the Smart Moves 360 group, Diabetes 101 for Beginners.
Yeah.
And so this message that you have, how can this message be relayed to people who may be struggling or going through or having a hard time? I love that you were really kind of calling in, like, sometimes the Mondays are the Mondays that need motivation, right? So what is like just one sentence that you want to leave them with about kind of like um, in their struggles with the health or in their struggles with struggling about the health? What is one last little thing you want to leave with them?
That they're not alone. That is what I'd like everyone that struggling, whether it's through health, whether it's through life circumstances outside of health. We have to understand that we're all connected beings. The first universal law is that we are indeed connected. And so they're never alone. And many times within our struggles, they're there to grow us. And when we say grow, it doesn't mean that growth is easy. It's not promised to be easy, but it is promised to deliver you to a whole new way of thinking, of seeing. So many times our things that come into our life are all about getting our attention. And health tends to be the biggest one to get our attention. Uh, so just know they're not alone, and there's always a way through.
Yeah.
And how do you go deeper than you've ever gone to actually surmount health issues and overcome it? And it is possible. It all ties with mindset, spirit, and body connections. So all of these things and these struggles we go through are there to align those three things as best as possible. And it all comes down to our free will to choose to see things differently, approach it differently, and more importantly, have the courage, the gumption, the tenacity to persevere.
Yes. Well, I don't know about you, but I feel motivated to persevere and to have the gumption, especially when things don't seem like they're going your way or the way that you want them to go or how you thought they would go, to stay in that space. Thank you so much, Jenn, for being our third motivational speaker for this Mink Talks session. We really appreciate you. Those of you who are watching, if you resonate with Jenn's poem and you would like to hear more from her, or you would like, you really enjoyed it, I would love for you to just put speaker number 3 in the chat or Jenn in the chat and let us know what you thought. Thank you so much, Jenn, for being here. Now, the interesting part about all of this Mink Life Motivational Mondays, and the reason why we're coming here together in the first place today, is because Mondays can suck sometimes. Oh, can they, right? You're getting back in your week. You're trying to get in the swing of things. And we really want to kind of set you up for the rest of your week with a little pop at the beginning of the week. And so our next speaker is Heidi Blair. And Heidi Blair is actually going to come to you and talk to you about just how to stay motivated this week in her own way. I know this is also going to be a treat for you. So I'm just going to bring Heidi to the stage with me for a sec. Heidi, glad you made it.
I'm totally unsure what I was doing. I signed up with not sure what I was doing. So I appreciate you having this platform.
No problem. We created this platform to allow different voices to come forward to motivate. Now, the primary group that we're speaking to today is Smart Move 360. Also, we have the Mink Life Motivation community as well watching this. And Smart Move 360 has the Diabetics 101 for beginners. And they are all type 2 diabetics who are really trying to make sure that they become warriors in this fight against diabetes in their own lives. And so I know you are a wealth of knowledge, a deep well of knowledge. And so I just want you to spend a few minutes just kind of giving some words of motivation and encouragement to the community about really staying in when things are difficult. Sound good?
I will do my best. Thank you. Definitely a challenge because I know I've encountered this challenge many times myself as I bordered on the diabetes area. So I understand that very well and hopefully have overcome that right now. That I've become better with the workout stuff. So eating a little bit healthier. But today I would like to talk a lot mostly about personal growth and the lifelong journey that self-improvement and self-awareness, as I definitely have encountered many issues myself with not being aware about myself and where I needed to go, as I did not set clear goals for myself. I'm working on making myself set goals and be more accountable to those goals and embracing the challenges of those goals. And I look back and reflect on those as have I achieved that or not? And it's a growth process because I'm definitely encountering many challenges and not pursuing it fully right sometimes, but getting past those difficulties and embracing that challenge. Can start with the clear goals by setting small, achievable objectives. As you achieve them, they will help you set more ambitious goals. That little goal, and then you step to the bigger goals. And leadership. When we think about leadership and how we have certain leaders in our life that may or may not be inspiring and guiding us towards those goals. I know I have encountered many leaders in my previous life that my previous jobs and careers and stuff that did not lead me fully onto where I needed to go to attain my goals of being promoted and everything. And so being accountable to yourself and ensuring that you yourself are leading yourself to your goal, and communicate those with others around you, communicating with those that you trust around you, because those that you trust hopefully are going to help you to attain those goals. Unfortunately, like I said, I've had a few that did not help me and were not inspirational and motivating me to help me reach those goals, and helping us with this practical steps for leadership. That they demonstrating integrity, dedication, and enthusiasm in my daily actions, or am I not working and not living out to the values that I seek and I have set in my own personal life that have not been motivating to myself. And are you listening, being an active listener and providing constructive feedback that can help somebody else and help yourself? Because obviously we know being an inactive listener and not actually paying attention to what is being said doesn't provide that feedback that somebody else may need, and doesn't give them the opportunity, their own opportunity to shine. That are we helping them to shine while we are in the background? And communication, effectively communicating is a crucial thing for building a relationship and resolving conflicts and conveying our ideas clearly. John Maxwell has written the book, Everyone Communicates, Few Connect, which is definitely evident in today's society, that there is many people that talk and talk and talk, but they're not actually communicating anything because they're not being heard by those around them. And we're not paying full attention to that speaker. We're not showing empathy maybe may possibly be interrupting. And so ensure that our message is clear and easily understood. And we can practice giving our full attention to the speaker and responding thoughtfully. When we use simple language that can get to the point, we can avoid the jargon that may not be understood by those in the audience. I was in the military, and if I speak in acronyms of the Air Force, people are not going to understand those acronyms and may miss the point. The personal growth, leadership, and communication are deeply interconnected. Improving in one area often leads to improvements in others. And embrace the journey of personal growth. Strive to be a better leader and enhance your communication skills. Every step forward is a step towards greater success. And call to action. Start today. Start a new goal. Take on a challenge. Practice a communication technique and path to success with a single step.
There we go. Thank you, Heidi. Those are great steps towards stepping into leadership and being able to effectively communicate. We really appreciate those tips. Hopefully some of you out there are feeling motivated. I know just because you may be in a group does not necessarily mean that even if you're not leading from the front, you can't lead from behind. So all of those are great tips for anybody who would like to lead and be a support system even in the community. Thank you so much, Heidi, for that. We really appreciate you. So I am just going to wrap up here with my own little bit of joy. So every single solitary week, I sit on Zoom and I talk to some of the most brilliant, amazing, and wonderful people who have no idea how powerful they really are. These people have all of the degrees. I mean, master's degrees, and even some of them have doctorate's degrees. And you would think, well, this person is clearly smart. They have all of the degrees. How come they don't believe they're smart? And because I can tell you, one thing is absolutely true. You can be absolutely genius and brilliant in one area or aspect of your life and be a complete idiot in every other part of your life. We all live in the duality of that. We all live in the space where there are things that we are great at and there are things that we're not so great at. And I say this to you because I want you to understand that even if you are brilliant at something, but the one thing that you're tackling this week is not something that you are great at, or you're finding yourself not really good at, I want you to give yourself a little bit of forgiveness. And the reason why I want to give you to give yourself a little bit of forgiveness is because you can't be great at everything. And the very thing that you're not that great at, there is somebody out there who has that particular genius and who's really good at that one thing. And they love helping people, just like you love helping people, right? And so don't feel bad if you're not a genius about whatever it is you're struggling with, because in the end, it actually makes everybody happier when you ask for help. The smartest thing you can possibly do as an individual is to understand where you are strong and where you need more support, and then asking for the kind of support that you need. The trick is to be very specific about what kind of help you need so that you can get the help that you want. And the best way to do that is by kind of what Jenn was saying earlier, which is looking inward and understanding who you are, and also knowing that you have the capacity to reach out. And really, this group of people who have talked to you today have given you keys on how to do that. When you look at Hollis basically told you all you need to do is create a safe space for others to speak and be heard, while also having enough courage to use your voice. And Yo gave you great opportunities to look at ways that you can be in gratitude of all the people and things around you that keep you moving forward and keeping you happy. And Jenn helped us really understand that it is our mind, body, soul connection that we are tapping into in connection with other people. And so by looking inward and really focusing on yourself and also seeking others' help in that process, you can do that. And Heidi gave us the keys on how to actually start communicating effectively so that we can become the leaders in our own lives and lead others to helping us be successful in what we're doing. So I hope that you have enjoyed today's show. You have four separate speakers. So again, that's Hollis as our first speaker. That is Yo, the Joy Ignitor, as our second speaker. That is Jenn Drakes as our third speaker. And that is Heidi Blair as our fourth speaker. If you've enjoyed this at all, feel free to leave comments on this post and let us know what you think. But with that, I hope that today's talks have left you feeling wonderful and that they helped you get motivated, stay inspired, keep networking, and gain knowledge so that you can live a life designed by you, for you, healthy, wealthy,